What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well today. And we are going to be talking a little bit more about the Jamal Adams restructure that the team decided to do. But I want to dig deep into the Jamal Adams side of things because the side of this that is really interesting and the side that everybody's talking about right now is the trade or signing possibilities. Because obviously we freed up all this space. We have more space than we need. People are wondering, okay, what's the move? Are we going to trade for somebody? Are we going to sign somebody? What are we doing? Because it seems like something has to happen, right? And the something that could happen might be the thing that takes us from a good team to a great team, or maybe a really good team to an elite team. Who knows? Um, People are excited about that, and they absolutely should be. If you believe this Seahawks team is close to being good enough to win a Super Bowl, then they should be doing things like this. They should be restructuring contracts. They should be pushing money out. They should be kicking the can down the road, and they should be making trades to bring in present assets. Guys who would be here now, not guys who are going to be here in a year or 2 years because they're still in college. So that part of it's cool, but it's also a little bit of an unknown as of right now because we don't know what the trade's going to be. Technically, guys, remember, the trade deadline's, I think, around Halloween this year. So the move that we end up making might not come until we get to late October. So it could be a couple months away. Could be like 8 weeks away before we actually make a move. Could be, even if it's a month, that's a long time. So that part of it could be a ways off. And also, we have no guarantee that it happens. Maybe we cleared this space thinking, okay, we're going to make a trade, and then they go around and they can't find a trade they like, so they're like, okay, we'll wait and wait and wait and wait, and then the trade deadline gets here and nobody's making a good trade. And then they just go, well, there's nothing we can do here. We're not going to force it. We tried to force it with Jamal Adams, and we gave up way too much. We're not going to do that again. So I think that that side of it is obviously very interesting and compelling, and we'll talk about it as things develop. But I want to talk a little bit about the Jamal Adams side of it because that's the side that is definite. And over the last couple of years, I've gotten a lot of comments about Jamal Adams. Every time he comes up in a video, the comments come up. Oh, we got to cut this guy. This has got to be it for Jamal Adams. Get him out of here. Trade him for 2 first-round picks. Trade him for this. Trade him for that. Throw him in this trade. And I want to go over the ramifications of this restructure so people can understand exactly where we are with Jamal Adams and why it is extremely unlikely that we move off of him anytime soon. So let's talk generally. When the Seahawks restructured Jamal Adams, they convert his base salary into bonus. So in this case, you can see that his base salary has been taken down all the way to 1.08 million. That's the minimum, by the way. They can't take it down any lower than that. That is the lowest possible base salary for a player of Jamal Adams' experience. 1.08. That money that got converted, because originally this number was much bigger. It was over 8 figures. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was over 10 million. Gets converted into a restructure bonus, which gets split evenly among all the remaining years on the deal. So basically, $10 million got restructured, and a third of it went into the current year, so it stayed where it was. Another third went into next year, and another third went into the following year. So basically, that's how you get to the $6.613 million amount that got cleared. It's the base salary that went into 2024 and 2025. This gets Jamal Adams' cap hit down to $11.5 million this year, which is where that cleared space comes from. Before, this number was bigger, significantly bigger. However, that money is pushed into the next 2 years. You look at 2024, Jamal Adams' cap hit for 2024, 27 million, just under 27 million. 2025, it's gone up as well. 28 million, just under 28 million. So we are now paying extra money on the Jamal Adams contract in 2024 and 2025. So that's part one. The other part to consider, his guarantees, if he is let go, traded, or released at any point, have also gone up. So it is now more expensive to move off of Jamal Adams next offseason or even the offseason after. Let's break it down. You open it up here, you can see that if Jamal Adams is released or traded before June 1st, next offseason, so this would be after this season, before the next season starts, there's going to be about 21 million dead cap. 20.8, call it. 20.8 dead, meaning you still owe him that much on your cap. So the savings would be about 6.1 million. So you're going to be paying him against your cap 27 million if he's on the team and 21 million if he's not on the team. So that is a $6.1 million savings, which makes it not all that viable to release or trade Jamal Adams financially, because you're just not saving a very big percentage of the dead. So this makes it harder to get off Jamal Adams next offseason. And I don't believe this is viable. I don't think there's any scenario where the Seahawks would do this. What could happen still is the post-June 1st move, where you release him with a post-June 1st designation, free up $10.5 million. Oh, I'm sorry. Dead cap hit would be $10.5 million 2024 and another $10.5 million in 2025. So it basically splits among the 2 remaining years on the deal. And the cap savings are then $16.5 million. Now, the dead cap hit you have to deal with in 2025 is tragic, but $10.5 million dead is something that most teams deal with. It's very common. So not out of the question for the Seahawks to do that. Obviously, however, this number has gone up. Like before this restructure, this number, this dead cap hit number, was lower. So this move means that at the very least, it's not part of our plan to move off of Jamal Adams this upcoming offseason. Now, what could happen, more realistic, more feasible, 2025, the offseason before the 2025 season. If you release him or trade him, trade's unlikely, but you move on from him. At any point during that offseason, the dead cap hit is only $10.5 million. You save $17.5 million. So that is something that makes a little more sense. That is a situation where you could look at Jamal Adams and go, hey, he's still a pretty good player, but he's not worth this cap hit. I'd rather have my $17.5 million savings. That is something that's more realistic. In order for the 2024 offseason cut to happen, this team would just have to decide he's got nothing left. His body's falling apart. He just can't play football anymore. He'd have to be worthless for us to decide we're going to eat $21 million on this Jamal Adams contract when it's only $6 million more than if he's on the team. If we believe there's any drop of good play left in him, we're not going to do that. And honestly, the post-June 1st thing, I mean, that's just ugly, right? Kicking another giant cap hit, or, well, not giant, but significant cap hit down the road 2 years. I don't think the team wants to do that. So, bottom line is this. The Seattle Seahawks, with this move, cleared cap space, but they also have committed to Jamal Adams more than they did previously for the 2024 season. So, for those of you out there who love to leave the comments about how Jamal Adams should be cut or traded, just know it's a lot less likely to happen anytime in the next couple years. And that's really all I got. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks.